In the English course of the first grade of senior high school, and in the context of Chapter 2, we dealt with the thematic A Refugee's Dreamland and the so topical issue in recent years of refugees, the increasing refugee flows, the living conditions, and their need for a better future. Through relevant videos, authentic text with refugee narratives, internet research, relevant web applications, and discussion amongst ourselves and with our teacher, we thought we should try to put ourselves in their shoes to enhance our empathy, a skill important and necessary for the proper and smooth functioning of society. Through writing and telling fictional stories involving either ourselves as refugees or third persons as main characters. In addition, we wanted to involve digital tools in the whole process. Since the use of computers and various software programs triggers our interest and renders learning more attractive for us as teenagers. After discussion with our English teacher, Miss Luisa Puliana, the Google Earth tool was chosen so that we could visualize the journey to freedom on Earth too. The planning for the delivery of this particular digital product was set at 2 teaching hours. In the first teaching hour, we were divided into pairs of our choice, and the assessment criteria for the project were set both during the composition and presentation in class. Moreover, we watched a video about the functions offered by Google Earth and proceeded to a pilot application of the tool so that all students could familiarize themselves with it. Then, in the second teaching hour, the pairs worked on their computers, exchanged views, disagreed, agreed, solved problems, made decisions, communicated, and collaborated for a common cause. At the end of the hour, upon completion of the digital product, they decided on the roles during the presentation, i.e. computer operator, presenter, and the manner of presentation. In the next 2 teaching hours, we proceeded with the presentations of the project, as well as the assessment and commentary in the plenary of the class. 30 projects were collected from the 3 classes of the first grade, i.e. a small digital visualized anthology of refugee stories, thus achieving at the same time the production of written and oral speech, the creative use of ICT. A small sample of the above Western project follows.
So hi there, I'm Marianne and this is Dimitris. We're going to tell you a story which ends actually with a happy ending, as we ended up here living our lives with freedom. Because let me just tell you, it was hard. So Dimitris and I come from Isfahan, Iran. We grew up there, we made memories, but unfortunately we had to leave that wonderful place because of war. The decision we made was hard, but the living conditions were the worst. So we started our escape journey with our last destination being Europe. The road was difficult and many times we thought of returning to our homeland. But then we thought and we knew that we were doing this for a better future for us. At the time of boarding, however, we were attacked by some Egyptian militias who threatened us with weapons and demanded our money. A daring refugee disarmed one of the Sikhs, so we were able to escape. Our sea trip was hard because of the waves and the bad weather. However, we arrived at Catania after 3 or 4 days on the boat. We're so happy that we made it and that we are alive. It was hard to rebuild our lives here, and we haven't done it yet. We are saving money to go to Germany where the rest of our family is. So, take your lives in your own hands. Fight for what you want. Don't give up. At least we didn't.
This is Nadina. We're 2 refugee girls from Israel, and we're going to describe your most life-changing trip of our lives. So it begins with $5,000 each in our pockets. We're leaving our hometown due to war. We're working towards our first target, Alexandria, so that we can travel in Europe after that. Trust me when I say this, it was a long walk, but special because we met a group, a refugee group from Jerusalem, just like us. So we decided to team up and start working together. We got to know each other, and it was a less tiring trip. When we finally arrived in Alexandria, we went separate ways and we said our goodbyes. We will never forget those guys. Anyway, we were really tired and all alone in a new town, so we decided to take a day off, find a roof on top of our heads, water, food, and rest. The money was a lot, but there was no other option, so we got on board. The truck traveled in the ship across the seas with us in it, and we finally arrived in Catania, Italy. This long, tiring, but yet interesting and significant trip was finally over, and tears of joy filled our faces. This trip was really important to us, but we would never repeat that again. We're even lucky we're alive.
My name is Amina. I'm a 15-year-old Syrian refugee girl. A few months ago, a civil war broke out. I lost everything. I lost my home. I lost both my mother and my newborn brother. Realizing the situation we were in, my father and I, both devastated, decided to leave this hell behind and search for a new home. Fortunately, my father had a lot of money aside because he owned a big company. That's how the story begins. We left Syria by bus with 100 other homeless people at that point. We headed for Beirut. There, we parted ways with the people we shared the same name with. It was then just me and my father. We had contacted my father's old friend from work and compatriot. His name was Arslan. He had connections that could help us. At the port, there were approximately 200 other people in the same situation we were in. Because of the passengers' number, there was a fear of the boat sinking. Fortunately, that didn't happen, and we safely arrived in Poros. It was as beautiful as I had heard. My father and I quickly adjusted to the environment and finally started living in peace. This is how the story ends, and the new one begins for us.
Sana'a, December 18, 2017. It has been 2 years since the war started here in Yemen. Sana'a, my hometown, is totally demolished. I saw my house being destroyed. My father thought that if we stay a bit longer in the country, we would be killed. So as soon as the night came, we started a long journey to a strange country that my father called Greece. Port Sudan, January 3rd, 2018. I heard that my father paid the captain of the ship 13,000 riyals, and I was shocked. I'm hungry and very tired. I hope this nightmare ends soon. Crete, January 17th, 2018. We finally reached our initial destination, Greece, after an endless, torturing and very scary journey. In Alexandria, my parents arranged with a smuggler to transport us to Crete, a big Greek island. However, as we were waiting at the port for the smuggler to come, some coast guards noticed us, and our only chance to survive, or not to send us back, was to get on board on a boat full of refugees that was about to depart. Trikala. Azima and her family have started a new life in Greece. They were established permanently in Trikala, where her father found a job, and she and her brother attended Greek lessons in order to be easily adapted in their new life in the new country.